Oh, sorry, Head Coach. Hello.
Shay, you
I
guys
gotta turn my volume off.
obviously really relish the chance to compete in high stakes moments. Just given the kind of
Can't
hype
breathe.
coming into the game and the quality of opponent, what was it like out there on just kind of go toe to toe and play really good basketball against a really good team?
Yeah, it was fun. Just like any other night, an 82 game season, it's fun. Like you said, a chance to compete, a chance to play the best teams, best players in the world. It's what the NBA is about. It's what you wake up for. It's what you get excited for when you go to sleep. It was fun. We came up on the short end of the stick tonight. Well, that's how the game goes. Can't win them all.
Say, you guys have won. I mean, you were 19-1 since Hartenstein came back. You won these games. It felt like designed for Chet to be involved, whether he's double big or whatever the case may be. I guess what have you found to be the formula in those kinds of games, and I guess what you wish you guys did more of in that case tonight?
Yeah, we've just figured it out. We've been throwing so many things at us this season with injuries, like different lineups, different matchups. We really just figured it out and found a way to win. We've been doing that for a month and a bit now. We weren't going to win the rest of the games of the season. We weren't going to be perfect the rest of the season. And tonight wasn't our night, but still proud of the guys for at the end of the night getting better, and I think we did so.
What you see from Jarrett and Mobley specifically, just the way they played off each other.
Yeah, they were very cohesive, played off each other well, like you said. Big, were assertive. They were good tonight.
Dub, you guys score 122 points, probably enough to win most nights. What did you like best about the offense against one of the better defenses in the league?
Moved the ball well, made shots. Thought we moved it really well. Thought we were able to get out in transition and kind of let that fuel a lot of our buckets to get some easy ones, which is over the course of 82 games, you're trying to get better every time. So that was a good step in the right direction.
Jim, you guys have played a remarkable stretch of games in terms of the caliber of opponent. Where do the Cavs rank in terms of what you saw from them and the test that they gave you guys tonight?
I don't know where to rank them, but they definitely have earned the record that they have. You don't get to 32-4 by accident, so they were every bit of that tonight. And they pose a lot of different problems, and they're a team that plays together. And usually, those are the teams that are hardest to kind of contain, or teams that play within, their strengths. And they did that. So I don't know where they rank, but they definitely earned that 32-4, and they're a very good team.
Shay, you look at the cup game against Milwaukee. It was kind of like offensive struggle. Like another super high profile game against a good team. Maybe your defense wasn't exactly where you needed it to be. Is there any pattern, anything it's worth even trying to knit together from those two high profile games you guys came up short?
Nah, just lost twice in a month and a half. Nah. It sucks that they're the high profile games, but like I said, we're human out there, can't be perfect, and losing twice in a month and a half, I'll take no matter what stage the game's on.
And then specifically for you guys, when you turn the corner in the paint, I mean, you guys play against 7-footers every night, but anything about the mobility of those two, or the way they always seem to have at least one of them hanging by the rim that makes it a little more difficult in that mid-range area?
Good rim protectors. Like you said, they have two of them, so if one of them comes off, there's always one around the rim, like you said. They do a good job of roaming and staying around the rim.
Shay, you guys are the Cavs and the Thunder are both very young, and right now having historically good seasons right now. But you're both set up, it would seem like, for very long-term success. Do you have a feeling or a sense that both the Thunder and the Cavs, are going to be in the conversation as the best team, championship caliber team for a long time to come?
Me personally, trying to think that far ahead doesn't really make sense. So many things can happen, so many unfortunate things, so many good things. If you said 2 years ago we'd be the team we are today, someone probably would have laughed at you. And a team could be like that 2 years from now. So you know what I mean? Anything can happen. All you can do is control the present, and that's what myself and the group is focused on.
That being said, I'm impressed you guys got asked this earlier. Obviously, there's a lot of build up for this game, a lot of attention on it. Obviously, there's a great atmosphere, great game throughout. Like, did you guys enjoy the process of the last couple of days, having this opportunity to have this kind of spotlight on you and to show what you guys can do? And how do you think that can help you prepare for down the road when you're in more big games to have, I know obviously you guys were in the playoffs last year, but to, have these kind of opportunities like you did at the Cup, like you did tonight, like you did over the weekend, to go up against big teams or big spots?
Yeah, it's always fun to compete at the root of it all, and then to have the spotlight. It's what you dream of, what you wake up for. Like I said, yeah, the opportunity in itself we're thankful for, and like I said, we didn't come up on the right end of the stick tonight, but you live and you learn.
Doug, what's it like playing in a game where it seemed like a kind of clash of styles defensively? They sat in that zone for so much. You guys were kind of trapping and getting the ball out of Garland and Mitchell's hands and forcing their bigs to play make. But just to have it be kind of so vastly different on both sides of the ball the way it was tonight.
Yeah, that's what makes basketball fun, is trying to take away each other's strengths and just figuring out who's going to end up winning the game based on that and who can do it the best. So that's what makes both of these teams like unique, is that we play one way, they play one way, and they're having a high rate of success, and we're having a high rate of success. So those games are really fun. It kind of comes down to like one or two plays execution wise, and that's how you get better over the course of the year.
W talked about how you guys moved the ball really well offensively tonight. You had 9 assists. Was that something that you were personally just kind of leaning into, trying to find guys, or was it more just kind of what the game required from you tonight?
Next game.
What the game required. I'll never go into a game like I have to have this many, assists, this many points. But for the most part, it's just taking what the defense gives and still trying to be aggressive and, find myself offensively. And yeah, that just is the product of our team being good when I pass the ball and them making shots.
And then for either of you guys, you've obviously played with Lou a lot and seeing what he can do defensively. The work that he did on Donovan Mitchell tonight, just keeping him quiet throughout the night, just what did you see from him defensively today?
Lou Dort masterclass. Fortunately, it didn't result in a win, but Lou did his job today, as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing new.
Yeah.
What does that say about the Cavs and just that Donovan only scores 11? That's one of the biggest surprises probably heading in, on paper. What does it say about them that they have that production when he's...
Like Dub said, good team. And when you're a good team, you're capable of scoring 130 when your best player doesn't have a big night. It's a good team for a reason.
On the Donovan point, a lot before he signed his extension this summer, there was a lot of talk about, if he had one foot out the door going to New York. It seems like there's this old way of thinking that, every small market star is going to bail at first sign of trouble to a bigger city. So I want to ask you, Shai.
That's a you
Do
question.
you think, not like, I'm not going to ask you. Do small market stars, do star players still need market size, or does that still matter?
So, me personally, because I can only speak for myself, I love Oklahoma City. And I can't see a world where I'm not in Oklahoma City. Market, no market, I don't care. I love where I am. I'm comfortable where I am. I love the people in the organization, the people around me. And those are the things that matter. I go to work every day with a smile on my face. Me personally, the market doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter to a certain extent. But as long as I enjoy what I'm doing at a very high level, love the people that I'm around doing it, market doesn't matter to me.
Do you think, the whole idea was markets make stars? It seems like because the internet is shrinking the world, that stars can pop up anywhere. What do you think of that notion?
Yeah, the internet does make it easier for people to be seen. Now, I can only speak for myself, and I play this game to win championships, and that journey is all that I care about. The coverage I get, I can't control. The ranking I get, I can't control. I can just be the best version of myself for my team to win a championship, and have fun doing it every day. And that's what really matters to me in playing basketball. And as long as I have that, I'll be okay regardless of where I am.
And for either, do you think ESPN might put a few more cameras around your guys' arenas going forward after a game like this?
Sure, why not? It won't hurt.
Anybody else? Thanks, guys.
Coming into the game, just from NBA fans, basketball fans, what was it like coaching in this game and just the level of competition and heart that was on the floor?
Yeah, it was a great game. It was a great environment. It was a great test for both teams. Obviously, they were better tonight, but that was a good experience for us, having to come in here in a hostile environment on the road against a really good team that's playing at a very high level. So there's things we can learn from it, take away from it, and carry forward with us, in the next coming weeks. And we see them again very shortly and see our ability to kind of course correct some of the things that we could have done better tonight.
Yeah, there were 30 lead changes, I think, in the game. And so, kind of could be easy to pick apart every single possession one way or the other. But were there maybe an overarching controllable that you felt like tonight was something that you guys want to work on moving forward?
I think obviously defensively with how we've played all season, we let them get loose on a lot of plays, but that's what they do to you. It's like you got to be really, really good on a possession to get a stop or to force a tough shot against them. Point of attack, initial help, closeouts, rebounding. You got to do all that well against them. That's the stress they put you under. They deserve credit for that. We obviously could have been a lot tighter on that end, but that's what they do to you.
Mark, I don't know if you've played a lot of bigs that have imposed their will the way Jared Allen maybe did tonight, and you've won big games against two big lineups even without Chet. I guess I wonder what made Allen specifically effective, but also just him and Mobley, that pairing.
He was great tonight, Allen. He played a great game. He was a force on the glass. A lot of our foul trouble came on the glass with him, and that set us back at different parts of the game. He had a great night. Great performance by him and their team. Again, something we can learn from, but give him credit. He played really well.
And you just mentioned some of those setbacks. I imagine one of them was Shai missing a chunk of that third quarter, but that lineup without him, kind of put you guys in a position to win the game in the fourth. I guess where do you think things kind of steered the other way late game?
A lot of it was just the stops. Even in the third, we were moving the scoreboard. I think we scored 43 in the third, but we got really loose down the stretch of the third. We were kind of trading baskets at that point in the game, which obviously isn't our identity. And they really executed down the stretch and made big plays. So, but yeah, that group did a great job. They stabilized the game. We took a lead at that point in the third quarter. A lot of good things tonight, obviously.
Seemed a couple every time you guys did turn the corner, got in the paint, no matter who it was, there was either Mobley or Allen there, and obviously there's a lot of big guys in this league, but did that maybe have a bit of an impact, just trying to get floaters and get buckets over those guys?
Yeah, I thought we did a decent job of attacking them. We found some threes. We found some drop-offs to cutters. We were good in transition, I thought, for much of the night. I thought we played with a lot of confidence and decisiveness. They zoned us a lot late, and I thought we did a decent job most of the night attacking that. Those guys are obviously really good players, but I thought our issue tonight was defensive. I thought we scored enough, obviously, to win the game, but we just didn't get enough stops against a team that you have to try to slow down.
It's kind of strange to be talking about defense and not getting enough stops, and Mitchell was like 3 of 13. I mean, was that part of your game plan to really sell out on him a little bit?
Not sell out. I mean, they stress you out because they've got those point of attack guys, him and Garland, and then they've got, the rim presence with the two bigs, and then they've got the shooting, and then they've got tonight the rebounding hurt us a little bit. So, you got to be really good in all facets on that end of the floor against them. That's why they're the best offense in the league, and they got the best of us tonight.
I was going to ask that exact question about Donovan. So we wanted something a little bit bigger picture, if I can. The Thunder and the Cavs are historically good right now, and you're both set up to be really good for a long time, just the way the roster is constructed, those kinds of things. Is this how good can this be for the league at large that's kind of, moving on from its older generation of stars to have two teams in smaller markets that are as good and exciting as you guys are?
Yeah, I mean, I don't study like macro league trends, so I'm like the worst person to ask that. I'm like focused on the Thunder defense. But with that being the case, there's a lot of great players in the league. There's a lot of great teams in the league. There's a lot of great young players in the league. I think the league is very well set up moving forward, not only because of these two teams, but a lot of teams and a lot of players. I think it's a very, very healthy product right now, and these two teams, I think, are a part of that.
We'll go to Joel.
Coach, Mark, just zooming back into tonight, and I guess across the season, like we talked a bunch about rebounding last year. I don't know how much you've cared about that this year, but it feels like, I know you mentioned the turnovers are a product of the activity, but it feels like that's kind of been the formula to offset from the rebounds. Were you looking at that tonight at all in terms of the activity turnovers? Because, 15 feels relatively low for you guys this season.
Yeah, I think we had them in a crowd a little bit. I thought, we were reactive to them and not as disruptive as we normally are. But still had, we got our shots in on them. And then the rebounding has been pretty good. It's been, I think top half of the league for a good stretch of games now. I don't know exactly what the stretch is, but that hasn't been like a recurring issue for us lately. And so it's a single game situation. We're not going to overreact to it. We've obviously played really well. We've done really well on the glass. We got to learn from it. I think the overall execution, was the issue tonight. But again, they're a team where you don't have a lot of margin for error with how good they are offensively. So a lot of the credit should go to them as well.
And I imagine a lot of teams. Well, you guys haven't had a lot of those late game chances. Some of these games are blowouts, so plenty of these games are blowouts. Just do you revel in that chance to get that experience late game? You guys have had experience that match last year with that.
Yeah, I think we've played a good amount of those games over the last couple of years. We've played a decent amount this year. I think we played probably 10 or 12 or something like that, which isn't the normal proportion. But we've been in these situations. We've done well in these situations for the most part. There's things we can learn. I thought the floor game tonight is really what hurt us more. We play the game kind of on their terms, and it's difficult to win when you let the opponent set the terms like that.
Was it challenging at all when Shai picked up the fourth foul, Ihart picked up his fourth foul? Was it tough to kind of maneuver around that?
Not really. I was actually planning on subbing Shai in the third anyways, going into halftime. And I actually mentioned that to him this morning. So it really wasn't overly reactive to the fouls. I left Hart in there with 4 during that time. I really usually don't react too much to foul trouble. Neither of them fouled out, So I'm pretty aggressive with that. Trust the guys. But I thought in the first half it was a little bit of an issue because it was just across the starters. They all had 2 or 3 fouls.
And playing in an environment that can only help out your team.
Yeah, that's a great one for us. We knew coming into the game we'd get a lot out of this game regardless of what happens. So would they, because it's 2 high-level teams really trying to win in a hostile environment. We just got a nice run at home where our fans kind of put the wind in our back. And we had to come in here tonight, it's kind of just us. But I love playing on the road for that reason. It's awesome when it's just kind of your tight group.
Michael's got one.
Yeah, just a quick one. You look at go back to the Cup game, for example, and it was offensive struggles that were sort of highlighted. Tonight you're saying defensive struggles. Is
Yep.
2 super high-profile games. Is there any? Are they just one-offs in your mind?
It's just what happens when you play against really good opponents. It's hard to get, it's hard to get them every time, when you're playing against great teams. We've beaten our share of good teams here over the last week and certainly have confidence, but that's why they're really good teams. You got to play up to a really high standard that we didn't reach in that Milwaukee game or tonight. But that's what really good teams do to you.
So you already talked about Mitchell kind of having an off night, but Allen and Mitchell combined for 13 assists. How does it make an offense so hard to guard when you're getting playmaking like that from your bigs?
The way we guarded Mitchell and Garland, put them in decision-making situations, and they did a great job. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat. They played a really clean game and really had the ball ahead of us a lot of the night, and a lot of that was those guys. The reads they made and getting the ball ahead of us once it came out of the pick and rolls. So it's a pick your poison proposition against a really good team, and you're not going to take everything away. we'll look at it, we'll learn from it, apply it to the next time we play them, try to improve. But that's why they're a really good team. They put you in those spots.
Anybody else? Thank you, Coach.